What's good, everybody? This is Intellect, and welcome back to First Look. Today we have one of the most interesting prospects in the class, Stanford's Ziaire Williams. He's a 6'8" wing with great upside as a scorer and good defensive potential. After a slow start, he's been trending in the right direction these last several games. Let's go ahead and get into it. Starting with his scoring potential, Ziaire has one of the highest ceilings as an individual scorer in this class. He has a solid handle and a knack for getting to his spots and creating good looks. He's fairly quick, and at 6'8", it's really tough to contest him regardless of space. This is where a lot of his appeal resides. Not many at his size can effortlessly move and create shots like he can. He'll only be more effective as he gets stronger and more mature. He was inconsistent as a shooter to start the season, but one thing that has been consistent is his ability to create open shots on the perimeter, often using step backs going either direction and having solid footwork.
Off the bench. Now, the step back. I remember about two things about Samaki Walker. Two to shoot it.
Williams has seemed to get more comfortable on catch and shoot threes. Even through the rough start, I've liked what he's shown. He has one of the prettier looking jump shots in the class. He relocates pretty well, and though balance has been an issue in other areas, he's been good here. His potential as a shooter is there.
Williams, another long one today, shooting 54% from the three at 6'10".
Squares up into the double team. Extra pass for Williams.
Williams is a sneaky good passer. He's got good awareness and moves the ball freely to the open man in most situations. He's looked comfortable in the pick and roll and is much more capable here than I expected him to be coming in. I don't know if he's someone you really want bringing up the ball and initiating offense, but on side pick and rolls and dribble handoffs, he's looked great.
Never beat the Indiana Hoosiers. They were in that same predicament yesterday. It held true against North Carolina.
Turn the basketball over against this Alabama defense because they get
you to be successful at that for an entire game.
So Mike felt that he just didn't get enough practice time, so he didn't start.
Be careful. He's really aggressive defensively. He has to be careful he doesn't pick up another foul. Nice bag.
Great look inside for
It's a pretty good trade for everybody involved. Oh, I think so. I think.
And like I mentioned before, he's consistently making the extra pass, throws good entry passes, and is a team player in general.
That 4-game losing streak, and Stanford trying to keep pace.
12-1, they've won 11 straight after losing their first game against Houston.
Oscar De Silva
Pushing out to the wing to eliminate threes. It's exactly what Mike Hopkins in Washington's done.
We will get into a couple things he can improve on in several of these areas, but overall, I like what Williams can do defensively. He's been guarding a ton of two guards who run off of screens and primary ball handlers, which is a different primary role than he had in high school. He moves well laterally and has exerted a ton of effort on this end.
Petty tried to step back, couldn't get the real estate off.
Thompson.
To learn about basketball, but they couldn't afford it. And so his dad, John's dad,
Williams has a near 7-foot wingspan and good anticipation skills that allow him to make plays like these. His length is often the equalizer against quicker and some stronger opponents.
Get it going again, out of the corner. Another three.
Trey Galloway. Where's it set?
You know, when I first looked it up to make sure. By the way, we got a picture of you.
And he's featured prominently in How to Change Your Mind, Michael Pollan.
Playtech had it blocked. Here comes Stanford again. Up by 3. That big presence down there, 3-4 feet away from the basket. The pass down low to May.
And finally, as a team or help defender, Williams routinely makes plays. He hasn't been quite the shot blocker he was in high school, but that's mainly a product of him being around the basket much less. He's taking charges, contested shots at the rim, and the effort is there even when he may be late on a rotation or a closeout. Finishing off this section, I really do like Williams' skill set. He's still fairly raw and hasn't quite unlocked his full potential as a scorer on this Stanford team, but he's going to have plenty of chances. And as he's recovered from that knee injury he suffered from a bike accident in the fall, he's looked more agile and mobile. And it's noticeable as the knee brace has come off. Definitely going to keep tracking his progress there. Moving on to some of his early improvement areas. He's got to get better at finishing at the rim. For someone who's 6'8" with his length, this shouldn't be as much of an issue as it is. However, it's not uncommon for slighter frame guys to take a minute to develop his finishers. We just saw Brandon Ingram take about 2 years in the league to get to where he needed to go. But it should definitely be a point of emphasis for him going forward.
Ziaire Williams playing real ball.
Wide open for the easy too.
Taking care of the ball is another area he should focus on in the future. Whether they're ill-advised passes, getting sped up, losing his handle, or being weak with the ball on drives, Williams is going to have to cut down on his over 3.5 turnovers a game. There's no better way to fix this than to play and get more reps, and as he does that, the game should slow down for him a bit, and the turnovers should cease, as he's already had 4 games with more than 6 turnovers.
So, talk about roll tide. Oh, she is coming for you.
Tom Roy. Because it was how they defended us. Now he's just doing a fantastic job, not only over the overall 5 years.
I should be saving this for the final scouting report, but one thing I wanted to highlight with him defensively are his closeouts. Now he's had plenty of good ones, but he often closes out with poor footwork or jumps at shooters, and often ends up having to recover. He's also quite jumpy or over anxious with his feet, so ideally he would cut some of this extra movement out, but a lot of improving this just comes with adding strength, and I know that'll probably be his #1 priority going forward in his basketball career.
The first European land exploration of the state of California.
Ziaire had some serious issues being consistent early on in the season, which is to be expected for most freshmen, especially in a year like this. But as he continues along in conference play and games get tougher, I want to see him be consistent and maintain an impactful level of play. Shot making can be up and down sometimes, but as long as he's creating good looks and impacting the game, even when he has an off night, he'll be somebody to be confident in as a top 10 pick.
Ziaire Williams missing the 3.
I wouldn't take a charge in front of you.
15 for Allen. Step back 3. Ziaire Williams. Too much.
Looking towards the future with Ziaire, I want to see how much progress he makes throughout the season, and if this current streak of good games, especially shooting the ball and getting to the free throw line, becomes more the norm. And then I'm excited to watch him go up against teams like Arizona and Oregon, the Mobleys at USC, and definitely Marcus Bagley and Josh Christopher at Arizona State. I think that one is at least going to tell us something about all 3 of those potential top 20 prospects. Thank you guys for watching this episode of First Look. Ziaire Williams is definitely one of the most entertaining and unique prospects in the class, and I look forward to watching him play in the future. I see him as somebody who can make a run for that top 5 to 7 range in the draft, but shouldn't fall too far outside the top 10 to 12, barring something catastrophic or a drastic change in performance. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and comment down below who you'd like to see next. I'm Keandre, this is Hoop Intellect, and I'm out.
TFM, I put in that work, man, yeah, I put in that work.